What's going on, guys? Welcome to Test This Tech. We're testing out the Mackie EM-99B. This is a broadcast style microphone, cardioid end address. I feel like it's the Rode Pod mic done right, and I'll show you why. But first, this is what you get in the box for this particular package. I believe when you buy the microphone in general, it comes with these. So pretty sweet. As far as some of the stuff it mentions here for features wise, high sensitivity, 53 dB, negative 53 dB, dialogue optimized frequency response, 50 hertz to 16 kilohertz, single access suspension, suppressed vibrations, and so supposedly it has basically a built-in shock mount, I guess. Internal foam pop filter, as we can see, no power required, rugged, durable metal body. Definitely is durable. This is definitely a chunky microphone, definitely the same type of size as the Rode Pod mic. And the base stand, the desktop stand is legit. It is the same size as like an on-stage, like desktop stand you get like a Guitar Center or it's ordering on Amazon. So they don't skimp on the bases. Usually like the cheaper microphones you get, it'll have like a real small base, but this definitely it's 5 pounds, I believe, if I were to guess, but definitely solid. This isn't going to go anywhere if you set that up. And then I do like the attachment. It has a little grip so you can move it by just pressing the grip there versus like constantly twisting it to move it. So I do like that. Very convenient there. And it does come with a 5/8 to 3/8 adapter. So, you're definitely good there. And it comes with a cable, too. It has a green Mackie cable, XLR cable. It's not on the box here right now, but you do get it. At least if you buy it new, right? But yeah, I feel like this is the Rode Pod mic done right. For the Rode Pod mic, at least for my voice, the mids they kind of poke out a bit to cut through, but it's a really weird frequency that feels a little too sibilant. There's almost like a weird transient feel for my voice for the Rode Pod mic. I don't know. I think this sounds weird. Whereas this one, I still hear the bass. So the bass isn't gone. The mids are slightly recessed, slight V shape. If I were to kind of sort of this is sensibility for how it sounds. And the highs are there, but they're not offensive. They're not sibilant to me, for me even hearing it. Like the AT2020, it's a great mic, but it's really sibilant. You really have to add a de-esser pretty much every time you record for most voices. Obviously, that's an opinion thing, but I will say the AT2020, very sibilant. Obviously, that's a condenser. Just trying to compare the different high-end frequencies for microphones, so you kind of get a sense of how this of just comparatively right. But I feel like this is the Rode Pod mic done right. I think it sounds really nice. It definitely cuts through. I think this is a really good microphone to for a male or female voice. Because sometimes folks don't want to use the SM7B. I've had some female guests were like they feel like, oh, my voice sounds so muddy, where, I understand it, but I feel like for this microphone, it does enough of the lows and the mids and highs where I feel like it's going to be welcoming to a lot of people. Now, if it comes to certain folks with a higher end, upper mid to higher end frequency, if you have a voice with that type of frequency, I don't recommend this microphone. So for example, Bandrew from Podcastage, incredible. I mean, first of all, shout out to Bandrew. He does great stuff. I mean, I feel like he's like the godfather of the mics, as far as testing all the mics. He does an incredible job. I'll never compare myself to him when it comes to that. But his voice, I feel like there's a certain frequency within his voice that just doesn't get along with the Mackie. It's nobody's fault, right? It's nobody's fault, but it's the reality that, and he says this too in his videos, because I'm reviewing a bunch of microphones, it doesn't mean your voice will react this way. Your voice may sound great with this. Just kind of just showing you this is what it's sounding on my voice, right? So we always have to remember that. But knowing you know, for my voice, for what sounds good and what, you know, as far as all of that, this sounds a lot better on my voice than it does for the Rode Pod mic. You know, and I owned the Rode Pod mic a while back. I apologize, I don't have it with me anymore. I sold it. But I do remember that the mids, a little more aggressive on the Rode Pod mic versus this, where it's capturing the lows, it's giving me some highs, but not too sibilant, and recessing the mids. I think it's a winner. It's definitely opened up. It's opened up, but it's not too shrill. Another example is the K6699D. It's a great value of a microphone, especially for $37. But there's a little shrillness for my voice, right? A little shrillness for my voice, so I have to add that de-esser there. But this is killer. I think this is a pretty sweet sound here. I kind of want to buy a second one for my podcast setup. I might have to hang out with the Superlux D421 for another couple of weeks before I get a second Mackie EM-99B. But this is the sound of the microphone. What do you guys think? As far as for me, I think it's a go. I think Mackie is kind of showing like, hey, we know about microphones too. But they're doing a good job, man. They're doing a good job for microphones that aren't an arm and a leg, but also quality. This is a quality microphone. I mean, if you take care of it, it's going to take care of you. You're going to be able to use this for many, 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 many years. Very similar as far as like SM58, as far as like it's going to outlast you, literally. You know, so this is a solid built mic. So that's my take. Test this tech. Catch you guys next video. Thanks a lot.